Hey everybody, I'm Jake McClendon. This is Cody Hurtado. This is the first episode of JC Sports Talk. We started this just because we both have a passion for sports. We love talking about it, and it's something we want to get into and share our knowledge with other people. So if you guys would subscribe to our channel, watch every video. We'll keep updating them, and hopefully we get this up and running, and it's a good start for us. So our first episode, we're starting out talking about college football. Big weekend ahead. Three main games we're going to focus on: Auburn, UCF, Georgia and OU, and then Alabama and Clemson. Starting off, Auburn, UCF. I got to go with Auburn. Scott Frost is going to be coaching UCF, but I think Auburn, coming from the SEC, they come off a loss against Georgia in the championship game, but I think they'll be prepared. UCF's kind of in that weird transitioning phase, losing Frost to Nebraska, so I think Auburn will handle them easily. And what do you think?
Yeah, I think Frost is a hell of a coach, and they are undefeated, UCF, but I don't think they faced a team like Auburn, so I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up with them. I think Auburn's just a little too much for them.
It's another thing, their strength of schedule isn't the same, not coming from a Power 5 conference like Auburn.
Yeah, but I guess this is a chance to finally see if one of those teams can keep up with
Yeah, it's like the Boise State era. I get people have been talking just like in the BCS before this, when Boise State was always, close to undefeated, one loss, whatever, and they didn't ever get the respect until they got in, beat OU in the Fiesta Bowl that year. So maybe we'll see. UCF might pull it off, but I think that would be a huge step for those conferences.
Yeah.
Georgia, OU. I'm gonna go with Georgia. Baker Mayfield's been feeling under the weather. Not particularly a big OU fan anyway, so I'm pulling for Georgia as it is, but I'm gonna pick them too. Their defense has been stout all year. One slip up against Auburn, I think, but I think that they're geared to defend Baker Mayfield and the Oklahoma offense. However, their offense, we all know, is capable of dropping 30 points on anyone. So we'll see. I love Kirby Smart as a coach. Their offense isn't that strong, but OU's defense isn't either. So, go Dogs.
Well, I'm a pretty big OU fan, and I'm going to have to roll with OU. I just think their offense is too much, even though Georgia has a pretty good defense. But I just think even if Baker Mayfield's been some random illness that nobody knows what it is, but I think he'll be fine and ready to go. And I think he's going to put up 30-plus on Georgia, and I don't think Georgia's going to be able to score 30 on OU. I think their defense might come up with a few huge stops. And Baker, baby.
All right, so Alabama, Clemson, 3 years in a row now. This one isn't the championship game, but it's still a big game for, Dabo and Nick Saban. I mean, they know each other's schemes. They know how each other's team work. They're familiar with each other, so I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's kind of like the Warriors Cavs, like in the NBA. Like that's how this has kind of evolved into, and I really like Clemson this year. I think they're going to win it all again, so I'm going to pick them over Alabama in the first game. Alabama lost 2 starting defensive players in the first game, and their defense hasn't been the same all year without them. It's been very evident. They still have Minkah Fitzpatrick playing corner, but I just don't think this is one of the typical Nick Saban Alabama teams that'll just dominate everybody and then win the championship. So I like Dabo. I like Clemson. So
yeah, I'm not a particularly huge Alabama fan, but I still believe in Nick Saban, I guess, and I think they're going to find a way to win this game. I think it's probably going to be a close, hard-fought game, but I don't know what the particular stat is, but I don't think they've lost 2 games in a row for quite some time. So I think they're going to find a way to win and get to the final and lose to OU.
So you have Alabama.
I have Alabama, OU, and then I have OU beating Alabama.
All right. So then I have Georgia, Clemson, and then Clemson beating Georgia. We'll see though. It should be an interesting weekend. Big games, and then next Monday, obviously a championship. So we'll see, and then we'll make predictions on that game coming up. We'll move into NFL now. Talk about some of the games there and some of the news that's been going on. So you start out with the game.
Well, first I'm going to go with Carolina, Atlanta. It's big for both teams because if Carolina wins, they have a chance of winning the division, getting a home playoff game first. If New Orleans loses, and Atlanta needs to win because if they lose and Seattle wins, then Atlanta's out of the playoffs. But I'm taking Carolina over Atlanta. I just think Cam's gonna do Cam things, and they're gonna win.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that game. I don't like the way Atlanta's been playing this year.
Yeah, it's
they really
Shanahan.
Yeah, it's just not the same team they were last year. And I think a lot of that is Shanahan leaving, and then, I think last year is just kind of like everything clicked for everyone at the same time. Yeah. Not everything's going that great for them this year, but Carolina's really come on. Christian McCaffrey's has been a huge addition to the team, and then like you said, Cam, just doing Cam. He's had a really solid year after not so good last year, but. Carolina will win. They're in the playoffs, but I think they'll be good down the stretch. I'll go to Dallas, Philadelphia next. Not a really big game because Dallas is out of the playoffs and Philly's already clinched, but it's still one of the biggest rivalries in football. And Eagles are my team, so I'm going to go with Philadelphia just because it's at home. It'll be a different game with Nick Foles in there. We love seeing the Wentz Dak games, but a lot of Philly starters won't be playing, but I think they still come out with the win, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game could probably go either way with Foles at quarterback, but I think this is a huge game for Philly, for Foles especially, get his confidence up after a not-so-good week last week. I mean, they still got the dub, but he'd like to go back to that 4 touchdowns, 0 picks game.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to take Dallas in a close one. Probably 3 points, field goal at the end. And then let's move on to Buffalo, Miami. Big for Buffalo because they need a win and a few other things to happen to make the playoffs. But I think they're going to end up taking it over Miami. I just don't think Miami is quite what they were last year. I think last year everything was kind of perfect for them. And Buffalo, I think, would already have a playoff spot if they didn't throw one game away by starting Nathan Peterman.
That's the thing that screwed them, and everybody, we all said, I even said that when they did it. They had that playoff spot locked up at the time when they started Peterman, and then everything just went crazy from there.
Yeah, I think Tyrod's going to be gone after this year, probably.
Denver should pick him up.
Yeah, Denver should pick up somebody.
I'm going to go with Buffalo. They need this win. I think they would be able to grind it out. Shady can do shady things whenever he wants, so I think he'll run all over Miami, and they'll get the win. Huge game. Jacksonville, Tennessee. Jacksonville, they've clinched the division, but Tennessee could still get that wild card spot. I'm going to go Jacksonville just because I think their defense is just outstanding. I mean, one of the top defenses in the league. And, they're hungry right now. They want that. They want the playoffs. I think they want the Patriots. I think they're ready for that. I just think they're too powerful. They're too ready for Tennessee. They're just trying to hang on right now. So I think Jacksonville just dominates them.
I agree with you there. I think Jacksonville's defense has been tremendous. I think they're probably one of the only teams in the AFC that could probably beat New England in New England. I don't think Pittsburgh can do it after watching that game at Heinz Field. But, I think Blake Bortles has been playing pretty well, not making many mistakes, doing enough to win. And I think Jacksonville pulls it out over Tennessee. And you want to talk about KC, Denver? Because we're from Colorado.
Yeah,
I mean, KC's starting Patrick Mahomes.
Denver's going with Lynch.
Yeah, Denver's going with Lynch. I mean, some young guys that are looking to be the future of places.
If Elway thinks that Lynch could be the future here, I mean, this could be our first look at some AFC West showdowns to come. If he wants to roll with Lynch, I mean, it could happen, but
yeah, I think this is just seeing it just to make sure. I don't think Lynch is the guy for anybody.
I don't either, but
yeah, I know.
it could be, but I think Denver really needs to do something else.
They need to pick somebody up or draft somebody, but I think they just have to take another look at Lynch. They used a first-round pick on him. They haven't seen much of him. They've been rolling with Simeon, and throw him in there, see what happens. KC's got a pretty good defense, but they already got the spot clinched. Denver's playing for draft picks.
All right, some other stuff going on in the NFL. The Giants locker room. It's been a nightmare all year. Starting out, they signed a bunch of free agents on defense, and they were
Brandon Marshall too.
Yeah, I thought they were ready, and then
OBJ got hurt.
Yeah, everything just went downhill, and Ben McAdoo was just a train wreck of itself. But stuff going on in the locker room, people saying Eli Apples, cancer, he's one of the worst teammates, blah blah blah, and you just can't have that. I mean, I understand some guys aren't the best to get along with or whatever, but I just don't like those guys saying that to the media and stirring that up more. You resolve that in the locker room. You go talk to him and say what's going on. But I think the Giants are just ready for this year to be over. Maybe getting rid of Eli. We'll see. But yeah, just disaster in New York.
Yeah, I think we talk about Eli Apple in the Giants locker room, and it sucks playing with guys like that. We've played with guys like that in high school, and they do bring the team down. But I saw something that said those guys don't matter if you got a good leader in the locker room. So I mean, they need somebody to step up and lead them.
Right. Yeah.
And one guy shouldn't be able to bring down the whole team. But I think also Eli Manning's a little past his prime. I think they need to go with someone younger. But he's still got a little juice in the tank. James Harrison.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about James Harrison. As everybody probably knows, a longtime Steeler. He was released and then signed with the Patriots this week. It's been a huge stink throughout the NFL. I think the Steelers, his ex-teammates, are, talking, what they, and talking bad about him, but at the same time, they wouldn't do the same thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you get released, you're gonna want to go play for a good team.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And James Harrison wanted the playing time, but never got it.
Was promised it too.
And he was promised his playing time, so he hung on, and finally didn't get it, and they finally released him. You got to sign for a good team that wants you.
Want to win another Super Bowl.
But
I think he's got two.
I understand both sides of it too. I understand the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You go sign. How could you? It's like Teddy Bruschi said back in the early 2000s when that rivalry first started, and he said, with all this aside, whatever, I would not be caught dead in a Steelers uniform. And, that's just how it was, and that's how it is. But, you do you, James Harrison.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's almost gone in sports today, though, about not wanting to suit up for your rival.
Yeah, it's just changing.
Yeah. But
dirty business.
Oh, yeah, dog eat dog. But James Harrison, he released a statement on Instagram, said this would be his only comment. Pretty much said he asked for a release multiple times. They told him no, and then he was also promised playing time when he signed this deal. Didn't get it, and they finally let him go. And they didn't tell him they would bring him back, but they said if we want to bring you back, be in shape. And they never called him, and the Patriots called him, and who wouldn't want to go play for the greatest coach?
Belichick's doing Belichick things, man.
Yeah, he always signs guys like this and
trades Jimmy G, and Jimmy G beats the Jags the week they need the Patriots clinch the number one seed, and then he goes out and signs James Harrison.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah, Jimmy G, man, he is something else, I think.
6-0, first 6 NFL starts.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. Most passing yards for his first 4 games with a team for anybody, I think.
The highest passer rating since week 13 throughout the league. I mean, learning behind the GOAT.
Yeah.
It does wonders. Look at Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Behind Brett Favre. I mean, you don't see it, what goes on behind the scenes, but being with those guys every day and learning from them, I think, is the best thing that you can have.
Yeah, watching what they do, doing what they do. And I think Jimmy G is going to be a top quarterback in this league for a while. But I think that also, the Patriots getting rid of him say that they're rolling with Brady till Brady's done. I think
Till he dies.
Yeah.
And put him in the grave in Foxborough.
Yep.
Underneath Gillette Stadium. All right, so let's go to NFL picks. What do you got for, getting to the Super Bowl? And
Super Bowl, I think I got to go with the Patriots for the AFC. Like I said, I think the only team that might challenge them is Jacksonville. But I also don't know. I don't trust Jacksonville to beat everyone else like I trust New England to beat everyone else.
right.
But I was thinking Pittsburgh if they could pull that one out earlier in the season. And then for the NFC, that's pretty wide open. But I think I'm going to go with the Panthers, make a run back to the Super Bowl. Panthers, Patriots.
All right, well, I'm going to go a little bold here just because I think this year's been crazy, and I think some crazy stuff's going to happen. So I'm going to roll with Jacksonville from the AFC in the Super Bowl, and then from the NFC, the Rams. I'm going to go LA, Jacksonville. I think, I don't know, it's just a wild pick, but, with Wentz going down, with, just some of the stuff that's going on, quarterbacks aren't as high as they have been in the past. So I think, defense is really doing a lot in today's game. So, Jacksonville, decent quarterback in Bortles. I think they have it in them to make a run. Then we've seen what McVay's offense can do from LA and their top defense too. So I'm going to roll with that pick for the Super Bowl. So we'll see. But wrapping the NFL up, we'll go into NBA. Not a lot of news right now, but some good Christmas games. We saw
Finals rematch.
That was a bunch of stuff's going down with the officiating.
Yeah, the officiating's been
it's been pretty bad, and a lot of guys, it's bad when a few guys, say something, but then when you have guys like LeBron, James Harden, guys like that stepping up and saying something and complaining, it's probably an issue.
Yeah, and something interesting I saw was because the Cavs Warriors have played the past 3 years on Christmas Day, and the winner of that game lost the finals. So,
yep.
Guess it's the Cavs year. Happy birthday, King.
It's the Lakers year.
Next year.
Yeah.
When you welcome LeBron. What are you thinking for MVP for NBA?
Right now, at this point, I'd have to go with James Harden. Just because he's leading the league in points, assists, and then he was up there in something else, I can't remember, but
PER maybe?
Yeah, I think it was PER. But I think he still is one of the best players in the NBA, but even without Chris Paul, they've lost 4 straight without him after winning 14 with him. I think that messed him up playing with him and then playing without him, So I think when he's just playing by himself, without Chris Paul, he's one of the best. And then when Paul comes back, then I think Harden shines a little more. You know what I'm saying? You see more of what he does rather than just trying to put it all on his back.
Yeah, the end of that Celtics game, he made those 2 offensive fouls at the end, and I guess that shows he's really playing a little out of position at point guard, I think. And with Chris Paul in there, I don't think those happen.
Oh, I
They
agree.
they inbound it and go down and get a shot up instead of not getting a shot. And but I think I'm gonna roll with LeBron. I think he's missed out on a lot of well-deserved MVPs in the past, and I think he finally gets this one.
And I think a strong case, if he can keep it up, I think Giannis.
Yeah, he's
This
a
might be
freak.
his year too. You know, with him emerging, people have been calling it for years, and I think it's really becoming apparent now of
Yeah.
what we're gonna see for what is he 22, 23?
I think 23 at the oldest.
So who knows how long he'll stay. So I think he could get his first one this year. We'll see.
There's a lot of young, talented
Young
players
talent,
in the NBA.
yeah.
Chris Stapps is amazing.
The unicorn.
The unicorn. All right, you want to do some like NFL MVP real quick?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go back to the NFL, and first we'll do who we think we're gonna get Coach of the Year, and I think I'm gonna have to roll with McVay with the Rams. Just what he's done, he changed them from the bottom offense to the top offense just in 1 year. Same pieces.
Biggest point differential
Yeah.
ever.
I mean, Jeff Fisher's taking credit for it, but I'm gonna go and give it to McVay. No, not Jeff Fisher.
Screw Jeff Fisher, man. 7-9, 8-8.
People were calling Jared Goff a bust last year, and now he's playing well enough to maybe go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think a lot of that though is McVay's offense.
Oh yeah, but I mean, you got to put him in a place to succeed.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just
Well, I
not
don't
sold
think
on
he's-
Jared Goff.
No, I don't think he's like Wentz or anything,
No.
but I think he's good enough to do what he's doing this year at
Yeah.
least.
Coach of the year, man. I thought I was gonna go with McVay, but I'm gonna go with somebody else since you went with him.
Zimmer.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Zimmer from Minnesota. I mean, that the guy is a defensive guy. He always has been, and that defense is just, I mean, it obliterated people this year.
Yeah, it's dirty.
After losing Bridgewater, and then having Bradford, and then losing him at the beginning of the year, you bring in Case Keenum, and the guy, I've always been big on Case Keenum coming out of college, coming out of Houston. I always loved him, slinging the ball. But I just think Minnesota has the right tools, They've done exactly what they could have done with what they had, with what Zimmer had, and after losing Bridgewater, and overcoming all of that, I think he has done an outstanding job losing Adrian Peterson and then Dalvin Cook getting hurt,
Yeah.
So I think overcoming a lot of adversity and a lot of injuries and all that, I think Zimmer is well deserving as well.
Yeah, they could be the first team to play the Super Bowl at home. That'd be crazy. And yeah, Case Keenum's been balling. All right, NFL MVP. Who do you got?
I mean, I'm big on first time things happening, like for the first time, So I'm gonna go with Antonio Brown, first time wide receiver winning it. I think the guy is an absolute freak. He has the most catches through, I think, his 5 years or something like that, or receiving yards, something like that. But I think he has just done wonders to the Pittsburgh offense through his career, and especially this year with all the drama with Martavis Bryant, Le'Veon Bell before the season. You still have Antonio Brown. He's still that one solid guy, and he still was the best wide receiver in the league this year.
Yeah, I think that wouldn't be a bad pick, but I think missing these last 2 games are going to hurt him a little bit in that. And I mean, it's probably going to be Brady.
Yeah,
but I would like to see it be like Antonio Brown, Todd Gurley. It could have been Wentz, but yeah, I mean,
Brady's invincible, man.
yeah, the 40-year-old wonder, man.
I don't get it.
Me either. Well, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think we're just going to wrap up episode 1. Thanks for bearing with us. I mean, we'll get things smoothened out, as we get going. But thanks for watching the first episode, and we'll see you guys next time we record.
Like, subscribe, and share the crap out of it.